right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. The conversation always begins even before we come from the break. At Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya, that's how we'd like to hear your views on the state of the nation, where we talk about matters, politics, and everything in between there. Use the hashtag Daybreak. Let me introduce my guest real quick again. Professor Tom Ojienda is to my left, senior counsel, and also a Senate aspirant for Kisumu. Dan Maanzo Makueni, member of parliament, is here, and also a Senate for Makueni aspirant. Thank you so much for making time. We're still waiting for Kimani Wamatangi, who's a senator for Kiambu and an aspirant for governor. As soon as he comes in, we'll usher him in. And later on, Bobby Mkangi, a constitutional lawyer, will be joining us online. But let's start off with the dailies. We see there's a dead heat there. In fact, Professor Ojienda, I'd like you to go first, Daily Nation. They're saying that it's 42% on both sides. That is on Raila Odinga's side and William Ruto's side. But nobody's going to gather the 50+1 vote. Do you agree with that poll?
Trevor, thank you for allowing me to have the first bite on what the opinion polls show on the tie between His Excellency Raila Odinga and His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, both running for president, one under Azimio One Kenya Alliance and the other under Kenya Kwanza Alliance. The opinion polls simply show that we are at a point when the country is divided on who shall be the president. And this is therefore a tipping point. We are about less than 3 months into the election, just about 3 months. 9th August, we are in May, and clearly it is a decisive point, and this is the point where principles, the clear principles that these two gentlemen stand for, will make or break this presidential race. In my view, this is just the beginning of campaigns.
Yeah.
And we can see that this race can go either way. And I think it depends a lot on what the principals will do now, what Raila Odinga will do to his troops under One Kenya Alliance, Azimio One Kenya Alliance, and what William Ruto will do under his Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
Yeah.
As you're aware, Trevor, we have clear coalition pacts that were deposited with the Registrar of Political Parties. And these political pacts, of course, are in line with the Political Parties Act 2021. Now, we are facing a situation where all these presidential candidates have gone to all the 47 counties seeking for votes, and they have troops. We are done with nominations, and I think the deadline for submission of lists to the IEBC is today, the 12th. And after compliance by parties, then we will be on a straight run. And I think by 30th, all candidates will have submitted their papers to IEBC, and we will then be, we have a situation where both leaders, that is the Azimio leader, Raila Odinga, will now be flanked by his troops in the campaign trail, seeking votes in every county. That will also apply to them. That will make a big difference. So, and let me speak from Azimio, and I can tell you that the 30-day, after all these processes are done, you will see a revamped campaign under the belt of Raila Odinga. And I can assure you, and you can remember this day, that Raila Odinga will beat Dr. William Ruto. We shall lead by a wide margin and capture a 4% lead in the next 1 month or so.
Maanzo,
we will be back here.
Do you agree with Prof? Because he says the race can go either way. First, do you even agree with this opinion poll, 42%, and none crosses the 50+1?
Scientific opinion polls are usually accurate or not very far from the reality. And if the situation was to remain this, it means that you are looking into a situation whereby we are likely to have another handshake as a country. Because if you are 50-50, then that poses a very big challenge. And that's why the proposal of BBI, although did not come to fruition that time and was thoroughly opposed by the Honorable William Ruto, you can see he's already practicing it from the backside. And probably in future, that's where Kenya will go. And this also will depend on the running mates the teams are going to pick.
Yeah.
If there is disorganization on the part of run mate, on the part of either parties, then they are going to lose big, because it is the run mate situation which balances the country,
yeah, and
reorganizes the politics. So I'm looking forward to the Honorable Raila Odinga picking Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka as his run mate. That is his biggest fortress.
Yeah.
That will mean clearly he's much ahead of William Samoei Ruto in this race. Okay. But in the event that doesn't happen, then you can expect William Samoei Ruto to get higher, because you see, we still have options under the law. I'm sure Professor agrees with me under Article 38 of the Constitution. The political rights are so wide that some of the laws which we have passed that have not yet been challenged in court, or some of the agreements we have made, cannot overtake Article 38. So one has to make a prudent political decision when it comes to the question of the running mate. That is where the difference will be found.
Speaking of running mate, your party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, said he wasn't going to come for the interview. Then he showed up. Is he simply an indecisive leader, or is this a political...
I think you got it wrong. It was advice that he does not show up for the interview from myself, Mutula Kalonzo, and a few of his party.
But then he showed up.
But after we advised him, he had to make a decision of himself. And I think the decision he arrived on, he's a very experienced politician, and one is very humble. His showing up to that team is a sign of humility, that he can even subject himself to people who are lesser than him politically. And that shows humility.
So you misadvised him then?
No, well, it's advice is advice. It's what you feel, it's what you think. He may take it or not take it. What
was your argument when you told him?
My argument then was that the whole matter of running mate should be a settled matter, because it is a political matter. And political issues need political solutions. Yeah. So in my thinking, it should not be taken through all these circles when it is a matter which should be of public notoriety and obvious.
So did it lower his stature now that he showed up?
I think it improved it. When you are humble, you are lifted. When you are humble, when you just thump, then you are brought down.
So you agree then that you misadvised him?
And we are younger than him politically, and once in a while, your opinion may be wrong, may not be accurate. And we accept when opinions are not accurate. And sometimes my opinion may be correct.
Okay.
I believe my opinion that he must be the running mate of Raila Odinga is the right one.
Okay. Prof, what do you make of the move by Dan Maanzo and the likes advising Kalonzo not to show up, then he shows up?
No, clearly, Daniel Maanzo and Mutula Kalonzo, he's admitting right now that they advised Kalonzo Musyoka not to turn up for the interviews. Obviously, they misled the former vice president. They were wrong, because it was important for the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka to appear before the panel. That was a reasonable panel, chaired by a seasoned politician, a panel of 7 whose role is to advise His Excellency Raila Odinga on the choice of Deputy President. I, however, agree with Maanzo on the question of the Deputy President. Whoever will be appointed as Deputy President, or the choice of Raila Odinga, will make or break the stature of Azimio One Kenya Alliance in his bid for presidency, because a good choice that brings votes will obviously build the coalition and will be a sure winner. Yeah. I think it's an important point, Trevor, that in choosing a running mate, the first principle should be what votes that running mate will bring to the coalition. That is the first choice. The second choice would then be the other questions of whether that running mate is loyal, has had a track record. Perhaps it's a person who will work with His Excellency Raila. But of course, above all, the choice will have to be Raila's choice. And let me say this, that if you weigh all the candidates on a scale as to who will bring more votes, I may agree with my learned friend Maanzo that Kalonzo Musyoka seems to be almost the obvious choice for running mate position, first choice, because of the vote basket that he brings. Then you'll have other options. You know, Martha Karua has the advantage of bringing the vote basket of women. And also has a track record of service to this country, I must say. Then, of course, Peter Munya also then has the advantage of also bringing the vote basket of the wider Mount Kenya region. So you have those three probably as the front runners. Then you have the others as well, who are options. I think that what must guide Baba should be what vote basket will he reap from his running mate or his proposed running mate. Secondly, of course, Baba would also have to take into account how that will play out with the other coalition. Remember, the other coalition, the Kenya Kwanza coalition, is waiting to see who Baba selects so that they make their choice. I'm not surprised that when His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, Deputy President, was commenting on Kalonzo being subjected to an interview, I almost think that this was reverse psychology. And I thought that perhaps he was simply saying that if you pick Kalonzo Musyoka as running mate, then you are likely to eat into a vote basket that we want. Because why would, ask yourself this question, why would His Excellency Governor Mutua and Governor Kingi move into the Kenya coalition, in the Kenya Kwanza coalition, just days before the naming of the running mate? I think there's a game that is being played there. And I think, of course, there's probably wisdom on the part of the Deputy President's side on this question. They are trying to cut into the vote basket of the Lower Eastern region in advance of the naming of the running mate. And they're also trying to cut into the vote basket of the coastal region before the naming of this call. And Maanzo has referred to a very crucial point. And the point is, all along, the Kenya Kwanza side has always attacked the BBI arrangement and the proposals for amendment to BBI. Yet, we have seen a document that shows that 100 days into an election, the same Kenya Kwanza is proposing the amendment to the National Accord and Reconciliation Act 2013 to introduce clauses that will give Ford Kenya the National Assembly Speaker's position, that is Min Wetangula will be the Speaker. It also proposes to give Governor Kingi speakership of the Senate. Basically, to make him my speaker. You know, when
we have that exclusive report coming up.
The Prime Minister.
That coming up.
It's actually a Prime Minister.
We'll talk about that.
Very, very serious. But it shows one thing, that they also know that you must balance the communities. You must create a framework that will ensure that all the communities and the vote regions in this country are balanced. And yet they're attacking Azimio Kenya Kwanza on the same question. When Azimio is pointed to winning this election.
Maanzo, did the move by Mutua and Kingi dent the Azimio la Umoja?
No, it is inconsequential. You know, there's very little following to Mutua. And that's why I was saying, Kalonzo Musyoka Deputy Presidency will clean out completely, you know, to the last man, any following of Kenya Kwanza in the lower eastern and largely into the coastal regions. Because, you know, remember we have quite a serious following in the coastal regions. So try to probe Kingi and even Mutua. You know, they've been given such tough conditions they cannot meet. They're just be, you know, carrot dangling, so that they are kept near. But the conditions have been given to meet, even Ford Kenya and ANC and the four of them, whatever conditions have been given to meet so that they can achieve those seats are next to impossible.
Okay.
And especially when Azimio One Kenya, Azimio Oka is strengthened and has the right lineup, then it becomes very, very, very difficult for Kenya Kwanza to achieve all this.
But based on what Prof is saying, that you need to galvanize votes in different regions, the scientific report that you're saying yourself, that the scientific reports are hard to argue with, ties Raila Odinga and William Ruto in the eastern region at 40%. However, William Ruto leads in central. So shouldn't then the Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate focus on central and pick someone from there?
I can assure you,
pick some votes.
Nothing changes in central Kenya, although some people have differed with me on that particular one. Central Kenya will bring on board to Azimio Oka less than 1 million votes, between 600 to maximum 900,000. Central Kenya is already locked. And unless...
Locked for who?
For William Ruto. Okay. And unless something very, very drastic happens, unless Honorable
Even if you pick a running mate from there, it won't change.
Even if we picked a running mate from Central Kenya, it will not change. Not at all. But if Honorable William Ruto messes up with Central Kenya in one way or another, then he's likely to lose big. In fact, if he loses Central Kenya, there will be no competition in this election. But up to today, he has a tight grip on Central Kenya. And for the remaining number of days, he has to make a very big mistake for us to gain Central Kenya more than 1 million votes.
Okay.
So whatever happens, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka still has a bigger basket of votes than whatever we can get Central Kenya. And that's a reality. But I can assure you, as soon as Raila Odinga wins the presidency, and I'm really happy he's going to become the president of Kenya, everybody will migrate from all these regions. In fact, Honorable Samuel Ruto will be left alone. None of his followers wants to stay out of government. So you'll see a lot of post-election agreements and deals coming up to build a strong Kenya. And I think, although we have really worked the tough work of democracy, if you look at South Africa's structure, a political party is so strong, it determines who becomes president, member of parliament, or any position. Similarly to Tanzania, the political party has remained strong. And in Kenya, I think we need to build a culture of strong political parties, not necessarily coalition, because what's the use of having different parties, and then you end up tying into a coalition? You rather have two strong parties. And I think we should really improve the law on structure of political parties, so that a political party determines a lot of things.
All right, I'll take a quick break here on Daybreak. When we come back, we'll come back with your feedback as well at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. And then we have an exclusive report of the dealings around Kenya Kwanza. We'll tell you all about that right after this break.